Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we read diving deep into one of the most magical creation myths ever put to paper, the birth of Narnia. Now, we often think of Narnia starting with a wardrobe, but before Lucy ever stepped onto that snowy path, the entire world had to be sung into existence. This is the story of how that happened, starting in absolute darkness. Our story begins not in Narnia, but in a void of cold, empty, an utterly silent place called the Wood Between the Worlds, and then a pitch-black nothingness. Two children, Digory, the boy who would eventually own the famous house, and his friend Polly Plumber, find themselves accidentally transported to this terrifying, lightless reality. They are utterly alone, frightened, and stranded in a darkness so profound it seemed older than time itself. Then everything changes. A faint sound begins, distant and deep, growing into a single magnificent voice. It's the voice of Aslan, the great lion, and he is singing. This is no ordinary song. It is the song of creation. Imagine being there. As Aslan's melody flows out, the deepest darkness begins to break. The very first notes are rough, elemental, like the stirring of massive subterranean forces. With these sounds, the first physical matter materializes. First, lights begin to twinkle, not stars yet, but tiny pinpricks of fire that gradually expand and solidify into brilliant, blazing suns and distant planets. The whole universe of Narnia is born in this cosmic choir. As the lion continues to sing, the song changes pitch, becoming warmer, richer, and more complex. Now, focused on the dark, newly formed world beneath them, a soft gray light appears on the horizon. This is the dawn of Narnia. Slowly, the ground beneath their feet takes shape. Mountains heave themselves up. Rivers carve winding paths across the plains, and valleys cradle nascent lakes. The very soil is molded by the vibration of Aslan's voice. Everything is new, clean, and impossibly beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful passages in all of literature. C.S. Lewis describes how the song turns into the sound of growing things. The earth responds instantly to the melody. Where there was just mud, suddenly, grass springs up in a carpet of vibrant green. Trees explode from the soil, growing from saplings to magnificent oaks and willows in mere seconds. Every kind of flower, every vine, every bush bursts into being, responding perfectly to the evolving harmony of Aslan's song, and then comes the life. The song swells once more, and strange, wonderful, and familiar shapes begin to form in the shadows and light. Animals, every kind imaginable, from tiny insects to massive beasts, materialize from the earth and the water. They are innocent, joyful, and completely untouched by any concept of fear or malice. They shake the dust from their paws and stretch their new limbs, gazing in awe at the great lion who brought them forth. But Aslan isn't finished. He selects a few of these newly created creatures, a mix of lions, bears, beavers, badgers, and others, and approaches them. His song quiets, replaced by a deep, resonant word of command. He gives them the ultimate gift, the ability to reason, to choose, and to speak. These are the talking beasts of Narnia, the protectors and the heart of this new world. He commissions them to be good, to be careful, and to be joyful, setting the moral foundation of Narnia right then and there. It's a perfect, pristine moment, but perfection in Narnia, as in any story, is fragile. Remember Digory and Polly? They weren't the only ones who accidentally tumbled into this new reality. Lurking nearby, brought from a dying, corrupt world, is Queen Jadis. She is the infamous White Witch, a creature of staggering beauty and terrifying power, and she is watching the creation of Narnia. The creation song, which is pure life and goodness, doesn't bring Jadis joy, it terrifies her. She hates the light, the freshness, and the goodness of Aslan's power. She sees this new world not as a miracle, but as territory to conquer. Her presence is a poison in the fresh air, a creeping evil introduced into a place meant only for innocence. She represents the potential for darkness and corruption that now threatens Narnia from its very first day. Aslan, with his infinite wisdom, immediately perceives the presence of this alien corruption. He knows Jadis poses an imminent existential threat. She must be contained or Narnia will fall before it even has a chance to flourish. This is where Digory, the frightened little boy, becomes a pivotal player. Aslan turns to him and gives him the first great task of Narnia's history, a quest to protect the new world. Digory is tasked with journeying to a distant walled garden high in the western mountains. From this garden, he must retrieve a single silver apple. This quest is perilous, not just because of the distance, but because Jadis, hearing the command, rushes ahead, attempting to intercept and corrupt Digory, tempting him with promises and lies, trying to convince him to steal the apple for himself. But Digory, tested by temptation and remembering the suffering of his own mother back home, stands firm. He resists Jadis and successfully retrieves the apple, bringing it back to Aslan. This act of obedience and courage, performed by a boy in the face of true evil, is crucial. The story culminates with the planting of that magical apple. Aslan instructs Digory to plant the silver fruit right beside the river where the soil is rich. Instantly, a magnificent tree springs up, bearing the most potent fruit imaginable. This is the tree of protection. Aslan proclaims that as long as this tree stands, Jadis will be kept far away from Narnia, her dark power unable to cross its magical barrier. It seals the newly created world, protecting it from the immediate threat of evil and ensuring a long, peaceful golden age for the talking beasts and all its innocent creatures. The creation is complete. The void is filled with life. The darkness is sealed away. And a new beautiful world is born from a song and protected by a little boy's courage. It's a stunning foundation for the entire saga, showing that even in the purest beginnings, there must be sacrifice, choice, and protection against the darkness. I highly recommend picking up The Magician's Nephew if you want the full details on this incredible event. What part of Narnia's creation story fascinated you the most? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, hit that notification bell, and subscribe for more deep dives into your favorite fantasy worlds. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.